Hey guys, Miss Chris here. I grow irises. These are irises. This bed here, I don't know if you can see it, but this bed here, it's got a lot of trees in it and it definitely needs to be weeded. But we think that this bed was planted about the time that our house was built in 1887. So these are some very old irises. So I like to cross-pollinate irises. And what that means, and a lot of times like honeybees will do that, but we don't have a whole lot of honeybees around here anymore. And so my irises don't get cross-pollinated. So I cross-pollinate, and I'm going to actually cross-pollinate this purple one with this yellow one, and hopefully I don't know what I'll get, but hopefully I get something, and in a couple of weeks there will be a big seed pod right here, and I'll go out and I'll check every day and make sure that there's a seed pod. Carton, you want to come in? So what I'm gonna do, can you go in there a little closer? Okay. A little closer. Okay, so if I pull this back, there's this thing right here, and that is called an anther. I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna pull that off, okay? Because that right there, that's what's got all the pollen on it. I don't know if you can, I don't know. So anyway, that's got all the pollen on it. So what I'm gonna do is I've got these really cool tweezers that I don't have to do a whole lot. And I'm gonna come over here and I'm gonna open this iris up right here. And I'm going to come here and I'm gonna go and I'm gonna rub that pollen all in there. And I just saw a bunch of pollen falling. But I'm gonna get in there and I'm gonna rub that in there as much as I can. Okay? Now, what I try to do when I'm done, because that still has quite a bit of pollen on it, is I try to take it, still got quite a bit, and I try to just put it down inside here for good measure, because then I know the pollen's in there for sure, okay? And I'm gonna do that to all three. There's 3 of them. So I'm gonna pull the other 3 out, or the other 2 out. It doesn't hurt anything for me to pull them out, other than when I drop it. Okay, and I'm gonna come in here, and this one I know is already done because it's got that in there. So I'm gonna go to the other one. Can you see how I'm doing that? I'm gonna go in here and I'm gonna rub that pollen all down in there. And sometimes it takes and sometimes it doesn't. Just kind of depends on how much pollen you get in there. Okay, I'm gonna push that guy in there as far as I can get him. And I don't know if you can see, but there's pollen down in there. Then I'm gonna take this one and I'm gonna pull it and I'm gonna cross-pollinate the pollen. Ooh, I just popped a whole bunch of pollen off of it. So taking that off allows me to push this one in just a little bit further. I can't get a hold of it. Just a little bit further. And I just leave it in there. So I'm going to take this one And I'm going to pollinate where I took those others off. It's a little easier to pollinate when those are gone, those anthers are gone. I'm gonna just rub it around in there, and I'm actually just gonna leave it. So I think I have one more left. Okay. Oops. Sometimes it's better to have two pair of tweezers. Okay. So I'm gonna get in there, and I'm gonna rub that pollen all down inside there. And this is what honeybees would be doing if the honeybees were here doing this. But we don't see very many, for some reason, we don't have very many honeybees around here. So, there it is. Okay, I'm gonna put this one in my hand. I'm gonna take this one off. Put it in my hand, and I'm gonna put this one down inside. See how I just drop it inside there? Well, it didn't stay in, but it's all right. So we're gonna come over here. I'm gonna take the yellow, and I'm gonna cross-pollinate right here. So I'm gonna take it, I'm gonna rub that pollen right in through there, and then I just drop it down in. And I know for sure that at least some of the pollen is getting down into there where it's going to produce a seed pod. So that is how you cross-pollinate. And we'll come back in about 2 weeks. Still going? I'm going to come back in about 2 weeks, and if it took, there will be a seed pod in here, and I'll update you on that. But I have another set over here that I'm going to cross-pollinate. I had a really pretty purple one, and I had a really pretty peach one. The peach one's still out, but the purple one kind of shriveled up on me yesterday. I don't know what happened to it. It'll have more that will probably be out tomorrow, but I don't know if the peach one will be. So I'm gonna go ahead and cross-pollinate those. So that'll be in a separate video. But you'll be able to see what I'm cross-pollinating with. So. Okay, so this is one of my other irises that I have that's kind of a peach color. I have a really, really pretty one that it's not out yet. I think maybe this is one of my hybrids that I did, but I don't even, honestly at this point, I don't know where it came from. But you can see I have some purple ones. This one here was bloomed all out like this yesterday. And that's kind of what they look like. But this one is purple, and I'm going to, the anther is still in there, so I'm going to take the anther out of that, and I'm going to cross-pollinate it with that one there, hoping that I get a seed pod. And if I get a seed pod, then I will be able to plant those in the fall. So we'll see how that goes. I'm going to hand the phone to my trusty helper here, who's going to hold the phone for me. Okay. So even though this guy's kind of dried up, I'm actually going to pull him apart quite a bit. I just checked, and he had, yeah, there it is. It's actually, ooh, this one actually has quite a bit of pollen on it. Okay, so I'm gonna take it over here. And I'm not gonna double pollinate this one. So I'm gonna rub it down in here. Got a close-up of that, Carlin?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna rub it right in there, make sure it gets good and pollinated. And then I'm gonna push that. I don't know if a lot of people do this. I have, some years I have really good luck and other years I don't have such good luck, but I push it down in there. And when I do, I usually always get a seed or a seed pod. So, it must kind of work. Let me see if I can find the anther on this one. Oh yeah, there we go. We got lots of pollen there. And see, this one has already kind of pollinated itself, so he may end up with a seed pod of its own. Oh, darn it. I just lost it. Let's see if I can get the other one. This one has definitely pollinated itself very well, so I very well may get a seed pod out of this one. Carlin says you can do it with a toothpick, but I prefer this method.
Put the pollen on the toothpick. And
because you can push the pollen. You can just put the pollen on the toothpick and then you just rub it in there. But I like this method just because I've just had really good luck with it. Okay. So I'm going to pull this guy back. I know I didn't do this one. Okay. So I'm going to pull this back here. I'm going to take that anther and I'm going to run all that pollen in there. Grab it by the... And then I'm just going to push it down in there. Like I said, I like to leave them. No, that one's not going to get left. But I'm actually, this one, here, I'll take it.
Okay.
Thank you. So as you can tell, I already have some ready to bloom here, and I have some ready to bloom here. When I pollinate these, I try to pollinate them on the first day. And the other two that I did, today's the first day that they've been open. So I have all kinds of irises and a couple of trees growing here. But I have a whole bunch of irises, and I have them up here also. And these really need weeded. Who's gonna come over and weed my irises for me? And last year, I pulled these up last year, or the year before, I think out of a ditch. So I don't know what color they're gonna be. This is the first year they've bloomed, so this will be interesting. And then these here, these are the same way. I found them, and I know they're old irises, but I don't know what color they're going to be. But this is the first year that they've bloomed, so I'm really excited to see what color they end up being. But they're not, I'm probably move these because this big tree we've got here, it's dying. So we have to have it cut down. So I'm going to be moving those irises. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed my video. I'm not sure how to turn this around. Not sure how to turn it around while it's going, but I hope you enjoyed pollinating irises, and we'll know probably in a couple weeks if it took. I'm also gonna, as my colors come out, I have a white one and I also have a brown one that blooms once in a while, and I always try to cross-pollinate it with something. So but I hope you can tune in and we can hopefully get some seed pods in a couple weeks. I miss you. And I love you, and I hope to see you soon. Bye.